Yo, what it do? It's your boy Try. That ain't rap podcast. Trying something different today. Doing something different. Some DVDs. Having displayed my DVD collection, and I wanted to show the people, show you guys of the YouTube community and the homies, my little DVD collection. You know, um, Grew up loving movies. From a little kid. And even now I love movies, the classic films from the 80s, the 90s, 2000s, you know. So I've accumulated a lot of DVDs over the years, dating back from like 2002, 2003. And, I think it's going to be pretty cool displaying something like about, I'll do like the first 12, you know, show off a couple of classics on the standard DVD. I started the series, from the stash dedicated to the physical media lovers, people that still buy physical media, CDs, vinyl, tapes, DVDs, Blu-rays, 4Ks, all that, games. So it's gonna be like I think this is what episode two. I think it's episode two. The first one I did was the WWE DVD collection with the homie Brooklyn Nick. Salute to him. Still people checking that out. It's on the channel. Showing much love to that. I appreciate it. Now I'm doing a couple of movies, a couple of classics. Got the first one of the best Schwarzenegger films in my opinion. Love this movie. Definitely, I think the first two in the series is great. After that, I don't really care for it, but first one is classic. Terminator. Got like the little hologram cover. You can see that. It changes. Love this film. Arnold Schwarzenegger and Linda Hamilton. James Cameron directed it. Great film. Um, you know, the story of the T1000 coming back from the future, coming back into the past to save Sarah Connor, and and to make sure that John Connor leads the resistance against the robots and all that. And definitely a classic film, 80s classic. Like I said, to me, my favorite Schwarzenegger film of all time. Love this film. Seeing here, they got the DVD. I believe I want to say it's a dual disc, and they used to make like some of these back in the 2000s with one side is widescreen, the other side is full screen. Got a little booklet here with the detailing the story of the movie and the different scenes and the cast and all that. I used to like the little booklets in the case. Something that's a lost art, but definitely a classic film. Second one I got, went to see this when I was younger. Um, Definitely enjoyed it. Like I said, like I think like the first two in the series is good. I believe there's a part three for this, but definitely a classic film. The 1984 film Gremlins. You'll see that special edition joint. Gizmo on the cover. Definitely love this joint. It has behind the scenes documentary. The trailers, the commentaries from the director and the actors. Zach Galligan, Phoebe Cates, Howie Mandel. Great, great movie. It is a Christmas movie, Christmas horror comedy. Classic joint. Definitely must have in your collection. Love the Gremlins. And man, part two was just as good too, but I definitely prefer part one. It is a classic. Must have this. See the DVD right here. Special edition joint. definitely a classic. I actually picked this up like I want to say like 2014. I was at I was at some supermarket in Florida and I picked it up. It was like maybe $4, and they had it on display. I had to get it to the collection. So yeah, definitely a classic movie. Next one we got, everybody should know this film. Classic mob film, mafia film. Talking about The Godfather. Rest in peace, Marlon Brando. Definitely a classic. Al Pacino in this film. Um, who else you had in there? James Caan, rest in peace to him. Robert Duvall, Diane Keaton. Definitely a great film, great mafia film, great trilogy. Part two is a classic as well. Part three was cool, but this is definitely a classic. Classic mob film. You must have this in your collection. I need to get the box set actually, but you know, I'll settle for the single one right now. Okay, here we got the Marlon Brando on the DVD. Fire. Definitely enjoyed this film. Watched it hundreds of times. Classic mob film. This film, I've seen this film so many times. You know, like hundreds of times, and never gets old to me. Great mixture of action and drama. And a great spy film. You know, one of my favorite Matt Damon films of all time. You know, talking about Born Identity, classic. Let's see that here. Classic film, collector's edition. See that on DVD. Fire joint. You know, it has deleted scenes, the making of Born Identity, alternate ending, Extreme Waves video by Moby. I believe Moby did a song. He did a song for the soundtrack that they played, I think, during the movie. And I know told in the end credits they played it. Definitely enjoyed that song. You know, a great film. You know, Clive Owen was in this. Brian Cox was in this. Chris Cooper. Um, forgot the girl name. Forgot Julia Stiles. I think she was in it. Yeah, definitely a great spot from, you know, Jason Bourne lost his memory. You know, he was working for a company named Treadstone. You have to find out, you know, what why they turned on him or whatever. And they're definitely a great film. I love the other films. Born Supremacy was dope. Born Ultimatum, you know, based on some books, some Jason Bourne books, some novels. But definitely a great film. One of the best, in my opinion, from Matt Damon of all time. But classic film. This next joint, I went to the movies to see this. I actually been a big fan of Jason Statham from the very beginning. Even now, I always love his movies. I think this one is like one of his best ever. Talking about the Transporter special edition. See that here. So, again, I think this was a reverse disc for full screen and widescreen. Definitely enjoyed it. It has some never before seen extended fights, commentary from the director, the producer, Jason Statham as well, the making of, the trailers. Definitely a good film. You know, he plays a transporter where he has to you know, pick up packages, but he asks some questions, he just deliver it to the destination, and then he picks up his package and it's like a kidnapped girl, and then he has to find out why she's kidnapped, and she ends up in the back of his trunk. And definitely a good film. I know they made a TV series for it. I haven't seen the TV series yet, but love this film. Classic. This one I went to see as well. Talking about went to see classic from a classic director, Steven Spielberg. To me, the first two were classic. Part three I didn't care for. Thought it was okay, but not great. But I did want to see Jurassic Park 3 special edition. I actually won this. This was in a contest I won, and it was decent. Like the movie, little gory at times. Nice cast. Has a ton of features on here. The making of, special effects, um, storyboards. But definitely a great film. I mean, okay film for the franchise. Jurassic Park 3. Let's see the DVD here. I said it's okay. It's not one of the best. But I think it was the more violent one out of the first two, out of Lost World and the first one. But it's okay. Let me see. This one we got Meet the Parents, Robert De Niro, Ben Stiller, classic comedy in the early 2000s. Enjoyed it. I'm trying to remember the second one. I know I've seen all of them. I'm trying to remember. It's been a minute since I've seen some of these films, but this one's definitely the great movie. The first one, and you have Ben Stiller hooking up. He was married with his wife, and he had to meet her parents. I believe her parents was Robert De Niro and her mom, and definitely a great movie. Say dope comedy. Enjoyed it. A lot of features on here, behind the scenes and deleted scenes and all that, and making of. What else? Definitely a great film. I gotta definitely watch this again because I'm forgetting like mad shit that happened in the film, but definitely a great film, classic for people that love comedies, especially anything with Ben Stiller. I think he's one of the best when it comes to doing comedies. Zoolander, Meet the Parents, Night at the Museum, great comedy. Another comedy from what was this? 2002. Great first film. Second film was great. After that, it tailed off. American Pie 2, a great movie. Um, Again, like it has a lot of features on here. The outtakes, deleted scenes, making of. Well, who was in this? Oh yeah, Shannon Elizabeth was in this. Jason Biggs, um, Tara Reid, Sean William Scott. A lot of stars came from this film. Um, Definitely a good one. See the DVD here. Great comedy. I remember seeing part one. I saw when it came out. My homeboy actually had a homeboy that came over with the VHS and was watching that, and we watched Fast and Furious Part 1. Like both of those, like back to back. We watched those. Definitely had a great time watching those films. Classic early 2000 films. This one was good. It says on the cover the version you couldn't see in theaters. This is the unrated version. Um, definitely a good comedy. Again, like I love comedy. Grew up on a lot of comedy from Eddie Murphy and Steve Martin, Martin Short. Just a dope comedy. So early 2000s comedy, a lot of great movies from the early 2000s. This is another one in my opinion. Great sequel to the first one. They still doing American Pie. Matter of fact, there's a new American Pie sequel out. I forgot the name of it. I saw it online. They're still making these sequels, but the sequels are terrible. But like I said, like the first two to me were classic. Part three, I don't even remember part three. I gotta go back and watch that. But definitely classic. Must have this in your collection. Another comedy we get to. Well, this is more of an action comedy. First one was great, pairing with Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan. Rush Hour Part One, great film. But in my opinion, I think Part Two just is great. Got the red case for this joint, classic film. I remember having the soundtrack for this as well. Had some joints on the soundtrack. I think Benzino was on the soundtrack. That had Christina Milian, Ludacris with Area Codes and Nate Dogg. Rest in peace, Nate Dogg. That was a big hit. Area Codes joint. Um, yeah, a lot of great features on here. You know, you got Jackie Chan, Hong Kong introduction. You got um the what else is on here? The language barrier featurette, kung fu choreography featurette. A lot of deleted scenes. Fashion of Rush Hour to remember the scene where Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan go to the in Las Vegas to go to the casino and they got to get fitted to enter the casino and he goes to like a boutique out there and he gets like a crocodile skin. Chris Tucker's character gets a crocodile skin suit. Um, Very sharp at that time. Definitely a dope movie. Like again, a lot of action, a lot of comedy from Chris Tucker. Loved the first two films. Part three, I didn't really care for. I know they're making a new one supposedly. They had a TV show a couple of years ago. But definitely a great sequel. One of the best, probably the best. I want to say. I love this better than part one, but great sequel. Got some double discs over here. Classic classic film. I remember going to see the first two Mummy, the Mummy remakes with what's her name? What's her name? Brandon Fraser, my bad. Brandon Fraser and Rachel Weisz. Definitely enjoyed the first two films. This is part two, the Ultimate Edition with the Stephen Sommers autograph. Y'all can see that. Y'all can see that there. It's a double disc. Disc one is the movie, and then disc two is the special features. See that is like some ancient, like a map or something. You can see that there. And yeah, it has bonus materials, the commentary by director Stephen Sommers. You got the commentary with Brandon Fraser. You got the Mummy documentary. You got deleted scenes, visual and special effects, storyboards, photography montage, the trailers. It has a DVD ROM feature. It has like the Mummy. It was a Mummy game that came out back in the 2000s. The Mummy PC game demos on here. You got scripted scene, featurette screensavers. This is like old school. They don't even have DVD ROMs anymore, but definitely a classic film. I enjoyed it. The first two, part three was cool with Jet Li. He was in part three. That was okay, but definitely enjoyed this remake with Brandon Fraser. I didn't care for the remake with Tom Cruise. I thought that was not good, but the Brandon Fraser remakes, well, I enjoyed those. Definitely a solid sequel. Then we got I watched this movie hundreds of times. Remember hearing about it back in like 1999 and seeing the different set pictures and hearing the buzz for it. And then when it finally came out, I went to see it and enjoyed it. I'm not really big on medieval films, but I definitely enjoyed this one and the story talking about Lord of the Rings. Fellowship of the Ring, first one from the original trilogy, definitely a classic. With Elijah Wood and Viggo Mortensen, Liv Tyler. Who else was in this? Kate Blanchett, Sean Astin, um, Ian McKellen. A lot of great people in this film. You know, the story of Frodo Baggins. You know, having to take, having this burden of taking this ring, this evil ring, and going to the depths, almost to the depths of hell to destroy it from Saruman. And I loved it, man. Definitely, I never read the books, but definitely love the folklore and the backstory to the store to these films, and everything about it was elaborate. The settings, the costumes, the cinematography, everything. Loved it. Um, I think it did get a couple Oscars for like cinematography and stuff like that. Um, that's the great film. I watched it like hundreds of times. I love the original trilogy with the Fellowship of the Ring and the Two Towers, the Return of the King. I actually had the Return of the King video game for Xbox, the original Xbox system. Great game. Had tons of fun playing that. Lots of action. Um, but yeah, definitely a great trilogy. One of my favorite trilogies of all time, right up there with Back to the Future and the Star Wars trilogy. This is a double as well. It's a widescreen edition. Like I said, we got Frodo Baggins on the front. Disc one of the movies. I think the disc one has some special features as well. And then you got disc two, the the writings on the this is like the Elvish writings from the Evil Ring that Saruman created. That this has like a lot more special features. But and I like the olive green case it came in also. I know y'all really can't see it on the screen, but it's like an olive green case. Definitely enjoyed it. I gotta definitely get the box set because I only got this one. I gotta get the Two Towers and Return of the King. Definitely gotta get that box set. But great film. If you're not into Lord of the Rings, this is a great way to start off with Fellowship of the Ring. Classic film in my opinion. One of the best. I would put it top three of the 2000s for any film, any genre. Definitely a great film. Highly recommended. The last joint I'm gonna end with is another double set. I remember going to see this back when it came out, and sitting in the front row of the theater and being amazed. And I grew up a comic book kid. I love comics. Love talking about comics. Love watching comic book films and reading. This was a great film in my opinion. Talking about SpiderMan with Tobey Maguire. He played Peter Parker, and definitely a great film. Kirsten Dunst played Mary Jane, and I love it, man. Like this is the widescreen edition. You got this one with Spider Man on the cover, and you got this two with um the Goblin with what's it? I forgot who played the Goblin again. William Defoe played the Goblin. That's right, and I believe James Franco was um his son. He played Harry, and then he took over the role of the Goblin when his pops died, and definitely a great film. I haven't seen this in a minute though, but I love the Tobey Maguire Spider Man, the first two. The second one with Doctor Octopus. That was a great one. Part three, not so much. Could have been better. I didn't care for Topher Grace as Venom, but first two were great in my opinion. But definitely a Marvel classic. Enjoy, Tobey Maguire playing Peter Parker, gets bit by a spider and gets these powers, becomes Spider-Man. I love it, man. Definitely one of my favorite Marvel films of all time. Um, Definitely in my top 10 for sure. When it comes to Spider-Man films, definitely in my top 10 and top 10 all time when it comes to Marvel films. But yeah, just a great set, you know. And yeah, that's gonna be it for now. This is episode 2. I'm gonna definitely do a lot more of these because I got a lot more. I didn't want to like show everything all in one, but I'll be here. I'll be here for hours. But I'm gonna break them up in different episodes. So this is the second episode. The first one I did a couple weeks ago, like I said, was the DVD WWE collection. That was great. Appreciate everybody supporting that one. This is episode 2. Showed off a couple of early 2000 films, some couple of old school joints, and the next one, it's gonna be the same thing. I got like different ones planned. Just hitting y'all with some different shit on here. It's not just about music on here for me. I love movies. I love games, fashion, sports. So I got like a lot of different segments and a lot of different series planned for this channel. So appreciate the support from everybody, and I'm gonna just keep dropping that dope content. Support um support the dope content creators on YouTube. Our people of color. I don't see a lot of us on here. Um, no disrespect to nobody else, 'cause I do follow a lot of different bloggers and podcasts, but I need to see more of my people on this platform on YouTube. Being recommended and in the suggestions. When people go on that app to look at stuff, I don't see a lot of our people. I think that needs to change, and I want to be at the forefront when it comes to that. So support all the dope content creators, of color. Dope Decibel, salute to him. Legion of Nicks podcast, On and On podcast, Homie Reg, Chop It Up Hip Hop. Um, who else? Salt in the Game, Madam Money, salute to her. Jazzology, she's Jazzology, Movie Files, Levels of Geeks podcast, Flicks Talk, 4K Corner, AJ Reacts 2, Cape Informer. So salute all those dope content creators of color. We need more dope content creators on this platform, like I said. So I hope to see more of that in the future. And yeah, I'm definitely be back with some more stuff coming next week. This is the month of Halloween, so I'm definitely hit y'all up with some Halloween related content. I got a lot of stuff planned for this month. So stay tuned and keep rocking with your boy. Peace.